Great. Okay, now, looks like I can say the official good morning now. In this present moment, we have the official moment that we are together. Namaste, Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living. Alan, thank you so much for that wonderful prelude. Today, we have that perfect balancing act, yin and yang, like standing on a rocker board on a roof, balancing grief and joy. We have a wonderful prelude. It's a congregational song, We Come Together, and we have a team. But before we get to the team, let's say welcome to Facebook, welcome to Zoom. We're so happy to have you wonderful people. And greet each other. And Alan, would you play a song? And when you're done with the song, they'll stop greeting each other.
Sounds great.
Please welcome each other. And thank you for that wonderful greeting. Please take your seats. And at this time, we're going to have a congregational song. We come together, and we have a very special group of soul singers featured from Namaste Seal Beach. Ladies, please join us. Look at these. Let's give them a round of applause. And if you are comfortable and you'd like to join the choir ladies, please stand and sing with us. We come together.
Stand up.
Together.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to do our exploration vision. And let's see if the slide is up. It could be. Would you like to repeat with me? Through mindful and exploration, we are creating a healthier foundation that supports and engages a whole beloved community, equipped to launch new strategies for a thriving spiritual center. Thank you. And for our introductions, oh, Reverend Veronica, how blessed and fortunate we are to have you to teach us the balance of joy and grief. Thank you. Let's welcome Reverend Veronica. And Alan Bustede, thank you for being available to us, for being here and gracing us with your talented musicians. Carol Ann Perini, there you are. You're our practitioner, and she's so excited to share her message connected to Source. Marjorie, would you like to do the announcements? Thank you. It looked like I surprised you.
You did. I just have to say that stuff happens, and we had a musician who was not able to be here, and so Alan was a last-minute substitution, and I just really appreciate your willingness to be there, and therefore we had this little mini choir that got put together this morning at about 9:30. So thank you for supporting us. I love it. So let's get to announcements. And the first one is about our newsletter. We are now one. We are Namaste and Seal Beach. And save July 2nd, because that's when we're going to start coming here together every Sunday. We have joined our newsletters. So now we have one newsletter going out to Namaste and Seal Beach. Pam, I don't know where you are. There she is back there. She put it together. This is a work in progress, so know that we're working on it. My information is it's going to come out on Tuesday after this? No, Thursday. Okay. Thursday is the day it's coming out. And keep your eye on it, because our websites are not able to, there's so much going on and so much changing. The websites are not really keeping up with it. So watch for your waves of joy, and we will announce who's speaking at each centers and all the activities that are going on, because we have a lot going on. As a matter of fact, Wednesday the 21st, which is our summer solstice. Carol Ann Perini, you want to raise your hand? And Valerie Day are putting together a winter solstice celebration, and it's going to be at Gumtree Park right here in Seal Beach, I think, at 6:15. Yes? Oh, Gum Grove Park. Gum Grove Park. Read carefully. Okay. Gum Grove Park. Sorry about that. And it's June 21st, Wednesday, June 21st, 6:15. All right. Then we have coming up this Saturday our spiritual elders group, led by Reverend Juanita. You want to raise your hand, Reverend Juanita? It's at 10:30, and the Zoom link is on the newsletter. So if you want to go to the newsletter, get your Zoom link, and join Juanita and her crew. All right, then we're going to talk a little bit about our unification, and it is happening. There's a lot happening in the figuring things out. Saturday we had a group over kind of organizing our cupboards, getting ready for the bringing together of the two churches physically, because right now we're one, but we're meeting in separate places. So July 2nd is just going to be an amazing celebration. We are going to have a magnificent...
Excuse me.
Oh, we have an interruption.
Yes. I'm recording. Am I on? I am on. Hello. You may remember me. My name is Jewel by the Sea. Yes, I am reporting here, as I have for many, many years, about the activities going on. And are we in for a huge treat? This year, July 2nd, we are going to start our services at 11 a.m. every Sunday, so you can sleep in a little bit more, and Keith can do his yoga before he comes. And after July 2nd at 11 a.m., they will usually go about 15 minutes longer than we're used to. They usually go to about 12:15. After that, we are going to head out to the parking lot because we are going to have a huge party. We're going to have barbecue. We're going to have dancing. We're going to, wait, I see a parade coming. Oh my gosh, strike up the band. Cameras over there. Oh yes, look at this. They are patriotic. They look like they're going to have some fun. Yes. That was supposed to be Sam, but it must be Samantha. Yes. And we have people that will be cooking. We will have hamburgers. We will have veggie burgers. We will have hot dogs. And we want you all to bring side dishes. And corn dogs. Don't forget the corn dogs. And yes, and we'll have, bring your lawn chairs, very important because we will be outside. If you have, yay! Aren't they fabulous? That's the team. That's the team that's putting it on. So if you have any questions, ask that team. We're meeting weekly, and we are having as you can imagine, we are having a lot of fun. It's required to be on our team. It's called Fun Team. So very apropos. So bring, if you have a pop-up tent, that would be greatly appreciated. Or if you have a friend that has a pop-up tent, or if you know somebody that might know somebody that might know somebody that has a pop-up tent, we are going to be out in the parking lot, and if it's sunny, wow, if it's sunny, we will want those. We will have the youth room open so we can kind of go back and forth, but like I said, there's going to be water balloon tosses, there's going to be cornhole tosses, there's going to be music and dancing, and so it's going to be fantastic. So please set your calendars, July 2nd. This place is going to be full, I'm sure, and we're going to have a fantastic time. So thank you very much. Reporting from Seal Beach, this is Jewel by the Sea.
That is for sure an event not to miss. I mean, it's going to be a marvelous celebration as we come together and can all be in the same room all the time rather than having two going on. So it's really exciting. And now, let's just take a nice deep breath. Oh, and just allow yourself to relax into that space within, that space of love and peace and joy and, that space where the Holy Spirit, the God's essence, resides within each of us as we transition into our practitioner.
So today's share is about balancing joy and grief. That's our talk title today. And so I thought I would talk a little bit about my experience of joy and grief. First of all, this raucous bunch over here, making this wonderful, joyful party we're going to be having pretty soon. That's the joy of us coming together and eating hot dogs and dancing. Oh my goodness, I couldn't be happier. I love to dance. And then there is some grief attached to all of these processes as well. And so I wanted to talk about liminal space. I wanted to talk about the chrysalis because these are terms that we've been using and I didn't quite get it. It just was a little, I mean, they were great terms, conceptually, intellectually, I got it, but how I connected with that or how that connected with me, I wasn't really sure, so I looked it up. And liminal space, the article that I read, it says, do you feel like you're stuck in limbo? I thought, yeah. Even though all these amazing things are happening, there's still not a lot of clarity. And that's what that liminal space is. And for some of the examples they gave is like pregnancy. Before you have the baby, you're not pregnant. Then during the pregnancy, it's that liminal space of we don't know what we're going to get. Well, maybe the ultrasound will reveal that, but we don't know exactly what we're going to get. We have to wait until the birth of that baby. And then we have other liminal spaces like walking from one room to another. It doesn't seem like a liminal space, but it is. We're going to walk from one room and then we're going to get to the other. We don't know what's in that other room. We anticipate, maybe, kind of, it would be that space, what we're anticipating, but we're not exactly sure. One of the examples they gave, and this really struck me, is walking down an alley that I'd not been through before. So I'm on the outside of the alley. I walk into the alley, even in the daytime. I don't know what's in that alley. And I'm anticipating getting to the end for safety. So liminal spaces, we have all kinds of liminal spaces, and I'm sure you can name a bunch of them. The thing about the liminal space is that it's characteristically a space of being uneasy. Now, how many of you love being uneasy? I don't see, I see one person, no. Yeah, it's not comfortable to be in a liminal space. It's not comfortable in the I don't know. And here's what happened for me. In the middle of that space, I got in touch with grief. I'm having some grief. I am not sweating in the night. I'm not sleepless. I'm not having heart-pounding difficulty. It's not that. I got in touch with letting go of what we have created this last 2 years. We've created a bunch of incredible stuff to keep ourselves afloat, to keep ourselves going. My part, my contribution was the musicians. And I have now officially turned that over to Lena, rightfully so. I am not Lena, trust me. I don't have her skills or talents. I have also turned over hosting and all that we have created here to Reverend Bobby. It's to be expected. But there's this little part of me that went, oh, it's not bad, it's not big, it's not major, but it's a feeling that I paid attention to. Because if I don't pay attention to it, and if I don't work it through and let it go, I'm going to carry it into our greater yet to be, and I don't want that to happen. So what did I do? I reached out to practitioners. I told people that could hear me and hold that idea. I see a lot of nodding heads around here, so I'm guessing you all could hold it for me too. I did prayer. I did meditation. I talked to Spirit. I kind of had this conversation with God. I did all the things that I needed to do, and I admitted it. I admitted what I was feeling. The thing about discomfort is that we don't want to admit it. We just want to push it by the wayside and barrel through, and let's just get to the end, folks, right? But the thing about these care circles that I know for sure, I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget it. We find solace in each other. We find solace in each other by sharing the truth of what's happening right here, right now, and working through it. Am I happy about this joining together? Boy, howdy. I am so looking forward to our party, to our 11 o'clock services, to having Reverend Bobby with us every week, to having Reverend Veronica, and all the other amazing people at Namaste. I could name them, but I can't do that because I might leave somebody out. I look so forward to all of that. And I'm going to miss my job. I'll find something else to do. Don't worry. We find solace in each other. Let's pray for a little bit. We say this all the time, that God is all there is. God is all there is. God is the joy and the grief. God is in the joy. God is in the grief. And there are gifts in all that God is, that is in, as, through, around each of us, every one of us. We are sourced and supplied by God. And so any expression in our lives is sourced and supplied by God. I can only imagine, I am not God, I am not Spirit, but I can only imagine that Spirit wants us to find solace in each other. And I claim that for each of us. I name that as good for each and every one of us. And I let it go into the creative medium, into the creative mind, into the source. And let it be. And together we say, and so it is.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. And so much joy in the room. It's a pleasure to be back and to see all my favorite practitioners and congregants and cooks and electronic personnel. I am going to play a tango. As you know, I'm a tango violinist. I think you know that. And in addition to being a symphony player. And I'm going to play a tango called El Choclo, and I am just in my band we have 3 Argentinians, 1 Peruvian, and 1 farm boy from Ohio. And I'm the farm boy from Ohio. because they find the best violinists. They don't care, because violin is kind of hard, you know. So anyway, I'm going to play this very traditional tango, but first, based upon the sense of balancing, you know, grief or things we're letting go of, and the joy of the new, I'm going to do a little improvisation out front.
Wow. Yes. Thank you so much. Wow. That just moved my heart. So beautiful. Well, hello, Seal Beach. Namaste in Seal Beach. I'm still adjusting to calling our name, right? It's still exciting, though. And Carol Ann, your share was just amazing. I don't feel like my talk is over. It's beautiful. It's perfectly touched, I believe, what we're going through. So thank you so much. And to our newly acquired choir who stepped up to the plate, thank you for filling in for our music today. That was, that's a lot. That's a big ask. It's enough to stand up in front of a group, but to sing in front of a group, that's a courageous thing they just did. So thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning. My name is Reverend Veronica, and I don't know if I've met all of you yet. I'm the staff minister, have been at Namaste, and I'm part of the package deal, so you're not getting rid of me. I'm coming along for the ride. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share with you and share about, part of me was like, when I saw the topic, I was like, grief. I want to talk about grief. I want to talk about joy and love and all the good stuff in life, right? But we are going through change. We are going through change. And grief is part of that. And everyone in this room is in a different place. So I don't know where you're at. You can, share it and talk about it, but then it'll change. Like, it'll change in the next moment. We might have grief in one moment, and then we take a breath, and then we're in the joy moment, or we're in the love moment. So the one thing I know is that change is constant, yes? Change is always happening. If you look at our body, like, I'm a nurse, so I always equate nursing to my talks because it helps me relate to what's going on. But if you look at the cells in our bodies and the atoms in our body, they're in constant change and moving at all times. So why would we expect anything else of life itself? But yet, we don't really like it now, do we? We like our comfort zone, that's for sure. I too love my comfort zone. So why would we expect anything else? If you think about the universe and everything that's moving out in the universe and all the stars and the galaxies and the comets and things that I don't really know a whole lot about, but they are in constant flux, yes? So at the same time, there's chaos in the universe of everything moving. But at the same exact time, there is peace simultaneously occurring within the universe. Isn't that beautiful? That both can occur at the same time. Chaos of unexpected movement and peace. If you think about the peace that's going on in the universe. And all of that, if that's happening within our universe, that's happening within us too. We are one with everything. So within us, it could appear that there's chaos going on as we transition, as we move, as we walk, as we crawl through sometimes this change. It may look like chaos, but what if it's just like the universe? It's just occurring. And at the same time, there's peace going on. What if we can find that peace within us as we walk through the change? Yes? Take a breath with that. Because sometimes change, or oftentimes change brings, as Carol Ann spoke, oftentimes change brings uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty, right? When we have our ELT meetings and we get a lot of, I don't know yet. We're not sure. And sometimes that brings up like scratching the chalkboard with your fingernails feeling, when we want certainty. But yet it's in that liminal space, as Carol Ann spoke, that we can bloom, blossom, grow from a place of not knowing. That's the blank slate where we can create from the infinite source that resides within us into a place of, what can we create together? Something that hasn't been created before. And so when we're in that chaos and we feel uncertain and maybe even unsafe, sometimes we can feel unsafe in it. We take that breath and tune into the peace that resides everywhere and including within us. And we tune into that peace. And we take a breath. We say, okay, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what my role is going to be. I might have to let go of something that I used to do, that I used to see. Just in talking today, our newsletter, we talked about our newsletter is changing. We talked about the time of our service is changing. We talked about the two communities coming together on July 2nd. That has changed. Whew. Yes, that's a lot. But yet, it is a beautiful, beautiful manifestation of both communities and the consciousness of both communities that we have come forth together to bring something so joy. When we come together as two communities, the joy is palpable, the connection is palpable, the love is palpable. So yes, there's going to be moments, and it's really important to pay attention to those moments when the grief might rise up, when something new comes and you're like, oh, I'm not sure about that. And there might be a feeling of loss. There are three elements to grief. It's loss, longing, and feeling and loss. So there's a longing for something that was, and then there's a needing of reorientation to the newness. So there's that feeling of loss, there's the longing for what once was, and then there's like a need for reorientation. Wait, it used to be this way, now it's this way. And then we breathe with that feeling. And it requires of us a heightened awareness of ourselves. It's a heightened awareness to notice that feeling that you mentioned, Caroline, that, oh, that's different than what I'm used to. And then there's also, oh, that's different than what I'm used to. It's like, the awe of what has been created. So we're going to be dancing between the two for a little while. We're going to be dancing with them. And so the request is to honor it. Honor that space. Honor what you're feeling. And also a sense of trust as well, that what's being birthed forth through each and every one of us, we are all birthing forth this amazing new expression of our spiritual center. So as we birth that through us, honoring the different fluctuations of how we're feeling, and instead of just releasing it and letting it go, like, oh, that's grief, okay. It's like, let's just sit with it a minute. Just sit with it a minute to allow and investigate it and ask for assistance if needed. Ask for support. Call a practitioner. Call a friend and just talk about it. And then that way it moves through, fluid, because everything is in motion, right? Yes, everything is in motion right now. And so just out of curiosity, I want to ask I want to see the longevity here. How many have been a part of this center, let's say from 0 to 5 years? 0 to 5 years. Good. Yes, yes. How about 5 to 10 years? Yes. And then 10 to 15? Yes. Wow. 15 to 20? Good. Yes. And 20 and beyond. Wow. That just touches my heart. That's beautiful. To be a part of a spiritual center and that reciprocation of giving and receiving that happens in our spiritual centers. And I feel, I can feel those roots here. And if it wasn't for those roots that are shared, if you think of the mycelium of mushrooms, that they're interconnected under the earth. I don't know if you've heard of that, but there's like this web of connection of the wisdom of the fungus of mushrooms. Everything's connected underneath the earth. And the same goes for trees. The roots are connected. They intertwine underneath the earth, and they're all communicating with each other. And there's a deep wisdom there. And that's us as well. The deep roots that are here in this center, we are everyone has been communicating with each other underneath the surface for so many years. And we're bringing that wisdom of everyone's contribution, we're bringing that to our collaborative, unified center. Isn't that beautiful? So I can definitely understand why there could be grief for the change that's coming. And it's because of the love that everyone has for this center. It is for the deep love that what the center has provided for each and every one here. So yes, and we are creating as a brand new expression. And so we're honoring all of that. You know, every relationships as well change. Yes, has anyone been in a long-term relationship? Does it change? Does it fluctuate? Do we grow through it? Yes, all of the above. All of the above. And so we honor that process. We honor that process of fluctuation and change. And so Brené Brown tells us, we may be experiencing grief, fear, anxiety, uncertainty, vulnerability. The only way through that is to acknowledge it. If we spend all of our energy and effort trying to pretend like we're okay when we're not, that actually keeps us from being okay. Let's take a deep breath with that. So let's spend our time, and give yourself time, to just go within and just be curious about what's going on inside of you and honoring it. Because owning our own grief is courageous. Where are you going to find someone encouraging you to go into your grief? It's usually, we kind of avoid it, right? Because we don't want to feel that hurt that might be there. So it's a courageous journey. It's a courageous journey. And our grief shows us how much we love. And so I know that the talk today is about grief and joy, because some might think that the flip side of grief is joy, like two sides of the same coin. But I believe that the other side of the coin of grief is love. Because the degree that we grieve is the degree to that which we love. So if you are madly in love with your spiritual center here, you might feel a little bit of grief in your heart. And that's okay. That just shows me how big your heart is and how much the center has contributed to your spiritual growth and unfoldment. So yes, of course. And so just close your eyes for a minute. I just want you to close your eyes. And just breathe. And just check in with yourself. Do a body scan. And just notice what you're feeling. Notice if it's love, or put a word to it. And notice where in your body you're feeling it. And just, you can tell wherever you're seeing it or feeling it, you say, I see you. I see you, whether it's grief or love or joy. Say, I see you there. It's okay. It's okay to have those feelings. If you're feeling maybe gratitude or joy, but just notice. Just honoring every aspect of yourself. And then taking a deep breath in right here, taking a deep breath in. Slowly, slowly letting it out. Good, good. And I just want to take a moment to see if anyone is courageous enough, I have a microphone, to see if you want to share what came up for you. And the reason I'm asking, and if not, that's okay as well, is because usually you're not the only one. And so when we share what's going on inside of us, it creates that web of connection that someone says, oh yeah, I'm feeling that too. And it creates that underneath the surface connection that we all have with each other. And so I'm going to walk, does anyone want to share what came up for them?
What's interesting, the first thing that I felt was familiarity. My childhood had a lot of grief, a lot of loss, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity to just heal all that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
I think oftentimes we can be in the pain of something or quickly jumping into the shifting, like let's shift out of it. And so I think really giving ourselves the time and the patience and the love and the generosity and the compassion to be in the in-between space and honor that just as much as we honor the pain or as much as we honor what we're trying to shift towards, to be able to honor that. And I just feel like there's a groundedness to that. There's a power to that. There's an authenticity to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
Well, I have an experience which I just had Friday. So, there's the grief of losing a person, the actual person, but there's also the grief of losing someone that's still in your life in a very constant way, but doesn't acknowledge you anymore. And I've labeled it so many different things, but I've never labeled it grief. And I finally see that there's grief there because of the loss of the friendship, the loss of the love that was there before. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there one more? Yes, Marjorie.
What I am going to grieve eventually is not knowing exactly what's going on in every single corner of this sanctuary. And part of me wants to unload all of that, and then part of me, I know, is going to feel some loss or sadness of not knowing exactly what's going on in every corner.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
I have a grief that I'm sure is shared by many here. Mine is the acceptance of the loss of youth and the acceptance of what is, which is not youth anymore. And that acceptance has become sometimes very difficult.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for your courage to share what's going on and share it within the community so everyone can connect and just share the love. I'm feeling real love here. And so what do you do with it? What do you do with this? Yes? It's like, So we just keep talking about it. We just keep talking about it. And we're going to go, one minute we might feel grief, and the next minute we're going to woo, And that's just the way a roller coaster ride. And then we're going to shift back into, oh yeah, So just talk about it. Let it ride through, and write about it, and love about it, and honoring what, honoring instead of, we can feel the loss, but at the same time honor where we came from. Because where we came from gave us the ability to go where we're going. That's the beauty of it. Is everything that we know, have experienced, and this is true for life itself, everything we know and experienced has brought us the ability to move forward, has it not? All the hurts and pains that we've had in our life has helped us grow into a stronger, more courageous person that takes us forward into the next adventure. This is what we're doing. We're having an adventure, aren't we? Yes, we are. So the thing about grief and love is that they don't obey our plans. Grief and love, they don't obey our wishes. Grief and love do whatever they want, whenever they want. In that regard, grief and love have a lot in common. Yes. So let us pray. As we close our eyes and acknowledge the love within, and acknowledge any grief that may be within as well. Knowing that it's all God, knowing that it's all part of the birth of a new center that is coming forth through each and every one of us. A new center that will bring forth wisdom, healing, happiness. It'll bring forth new teachings, new people. And it's going to bring forth a new expression of each and every one of us. It can't help but do that. Yes. As I say yes to this growth of each individual here today, I say yes to the growth of our center. Yes. As I say yes to the wisdom within each and every one of us here today, I say yes to the wisdom within our new center. As I say yes to the love that resides within each and every one of us, I say yes to the huge love space that our center will hold. As we know this, as we hold this in our hearts, we take a deep collective breath here together, releasing it to the Holy Spirit, knowing that it is done. And we all say together, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. I am going to play a short movement by Ludwig van Beethoven, who understood all the human emotions and spent his life expanding the whole language of how written music was conceived and executed. And he was a great pianist and improviser as well. This is his a movement in E minor from his sonata, Opus 14, number 1.
What a wonderful service. Alan, thank you so much for that passionate, emotional beauty that you brought to us with music. Thank you to the soul singers. What a courageous group you are. Reverend Veronica, Carol Ann, and Marjorie for being up here and talking so eloquently about the balance between joy and grief and your personal feelings about it. And I want to say thank you for having me up here as a volunteer host. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a great job. Thank you. Thank you. And now it's time for our offering. And as we are dancing to the future and having that adventure, think about the joy and the love and the support you get from the center here, our new Namaste Seal Beach Center, and love, enjoy, and give abundantly with your time, your treasure, your talent. And you can do online giving, you can do PayPal, you can do text to give. We have the little silver buckets, and you can put cash or check in it. However you choose, however you feel to love and give, we are ever so grateful. And now we're going to say the offering blessing. And if you'd like to join me, are you ready? Yes. Good. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prospered. Thank you, God. Yes, thank you. And practitioners, would you please stand? We are so honored to have the practitioners who have studied and able to help us hold the space of joy, of grief, of transition with affirmative prayer. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. I think it could be time for children. Do we have children today? Yes? Wonderful. They're not here? Oh, they're busy, so we don't have them today. Oh, they're there. Does anybody know a good joke? The children are on their way. He's so much fun. Yes, thank you. The children will not be joining us, so we'll go on to the benediction. Reverend Veronica, would you like to lead the benediction?
Thank you. Yes, if you are able, please stand. And I did want to also announce that we are going to be sending out a survey through probably the newsletter. It'll be coming out in the next few weeks because we want to gauge the temperature of how you all are doing and get some feedback as well. So keep an eye out for that in our newsletter, and we'll be announcing that in the future. So, all right. How? Sure. If you'd like to be creative. It's a little adventurous, so we need some adventurous music here. Okay. All right. So what do we know? What do we know about this thing called life? Are you ready? Tell me, what's happening right now? Something wonderful is happening to me right now. And what do you call it? Is this thing called life? Yes. 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 It is this thing called life. And what do we do with, where is this thing that we call life? Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is all that I do. Hold on. Yes, I love it. Thank you. So life is all that I do. So what do I do with it? I give thanks for it, and I accept it just the way it is. Hold on, just the way it is. That's the easy part, right? What if it doesn't happen the way we like it? How do we accept life? Just the way it is not. Yes, and the most important words you could ever say in gratitude and thanksgiving, let's say it together. Thank you, life. Woo! Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Veronica. And there is Eileen. And since Eileen is here, it must be time for the peace song. Shall we?